This is my tutorial on how to do this. I'm making this for you, I'm making this for me, I'm making this for everybody that wants to see. So, firstly, take your hair out of whatever monstrosity it is in. Mine's currently in a half weird bun knot thing with so much weird product and bedhead. And you're just gonna want to get a little brush, a little knot. As you can see, some of my hair is dyed, some of my hair is not, because it's been in a knot. Ugh. I brush my hair forward because it makes it easier to see where my line is, because I've got overgrowth. And I've got like about an inch, a little less, and that can get easily tied into your rat tail. Because technically, you don't need that much hair to be put into a rat tail. What you're gonna need are these little elastic things. I get mine from the dollar store. Equate. Ooh, they're amazing. They last, they're stretchy, they come in variety sizes. At least that's what I tell myself. What you're gonna wanna do is start separating, parting, whatever. You can use a rat-tailed comb, your fingers, a brush, whatever you'd like to use. I used to use a rat-tailed comb. Now I use my fingers or whatever I got. However many rat tails you want to do, you're going to want to section out now. And essentially make little ponytails out of them. The thickness is up to you. I make mine slightly thicker because I have chronic migraines. And I don't like to get more because of these. I found that out the hard way. Take your little rubber band. Make sure it's not deformed, because if it's deformed, it's going to snap. I should put some background music on to this, because you can hear me breathing and my stomach gurgling. I feel like this should be like a YouTube channel or something. YouTube House to do a rat tails. I would make this a TikTok, but for my birthday, they're going to be getting rid of it. Oh no. What will I brain rot to now? Alright, as you can see, it's a little ponytail. Make sure it's all straight, and then tighten it. Don't make it too tight, because migraines. Make sure it's flat. How flat do you say? About as flat as the earth. There we go. And now you have the beginning of one rat tail. Beautiful. And now, moving on to the other side. In fact, I'm actually just going to do the other part separate. So I'm going to section out this side. That's right, ladies and gents, and these are thumbs and whatever's thumbs. We section properly here, or at least partially properly. Alright. And now that you've got this, time for the yarn. I'm going all black this time, because why not? So, length is really up to you and how long you want your tail. You can go out like this. You can do little, Again, it's up to you. And it's a very visual thing. So this is how I visualize it. I want my rat tail to go down to about here. So how I do, hold it up to here, visualize here. Remember, you're going to be braiding it as well. So add a little extra. Boom. Each braid is going to have about 3. You can multiply that by how much thickness you want by that. And then you just add extra wrappings by the length. 1. It doesn't all have to be perfectly even because you can, and you will, be cutting it later to make it even and unlooped at the end. So don't stress too hard when it starts looking like this. You do want to make sure it's kind of neat so that way you don't get lost in that sauce. Don't forget to count. And if you do forget to count, you can always just stop and count. That's okay, because I do that all the time. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 10. 6, so that's 12. 12 divided by 3, you know, maths. Or you can just separate it like this. See what looks good into 3 things, you know. Obviously this one's going to look good with 4 into each one, you know. Then do the good old twist and boom. This one's going to be kind of a thin braid. So I'm going to do up to 18 to make it a little thicker. 7. 8. 9. 10. And if you ever wind up on an odd number, oh well, it happens. It happens. Because guess what? Real hair, you're not counting the number of strands in it. You just freeball it. It'd be that way. Alright. And now separate it like that. So that way you have your in half there. I know, it still has that. Ooh. I'm a great explainer, aren't I? And then you pinch it. Make sure you don't lose that part. Some people, they make a little twist so that they don't lose it. And now for the most complicated part. This is going to be the hardest part here, all right? Get a rubber band ready, right? Maybe even 2 in case you drop one. All right, I have mine right here. And you're going to split this into 2. And you're going to bring this inside that. And then you're going to close this around it. And essentially just pin it, close it, and then tie it, right? And then you're going to have this one, and this one, giving you 3 strands, essentially. And that's what you're going to braid after cutting this. Let me bring that to action. Some people can also get this piece wet, your hair that is, to give it more grip, or some people use product like a pomade to give it more grip. And that's okay. Whatever works for you, boo. Make sure not to tie in the yarn. You're just tying the string. I mean the hair. You're just tying the hair. Because this is what's trapping the yarn in here. Make sure not to pull the yarn because it's still not secured in there yet. It can and will go lopsided. And if you're like me, your arms are probably getting tired. That's okay, that is normal. Your arms are going to get tired during this. You're going to get gains. All right, and now, tighten. It's okay if it looks a little messy. It's okay. Because we can always wrap it later. Tighten. Boom, beautiful. Now she looks kind of like this. Wow. And now, follow her down to the bottom, and now we can cut these ends. And you're gonna have a whole bunch of different lengths. That's okay, because unless you go to the beauty salon as a regular, your hair probably has a bunch of different lengths too. Check to make sure. Alrighty. And now, as an actuality, gonna find the shortest one and trim. Bum, 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 ba-dum. Wonderful. And that's kind of accurate. It's always best to add a couple extra inches. Not a couple extra, but you know what I mean, an inch or two when doing this, because you're going to have to trim it, you're going to braid it. It is what it is. And now, to that part I just said, you got to braid it. So you're going to take your hair, separate, going to cut this in half, and now braid. Just a regular braid. Make sure she's tight. Actually, I like to wet my hair here, so. You can either wet in your hands and just steam line it, especially the ends here. Or if you're bougie and you've got one of the sprayers, do that. All right, back to the braiding. We don't waste water here. There we go. Hold on. And it's okay if you have to redo it a couple times. I do. Most people do. Unless you're a good braider. Then they could do it in like one go and they're just like, wow. I admire those people. They got skill. Do it tight, do it right. All that popping you hear, that's my fingers and wrists. Definitely not early onset arthritis. Also, don't forget to Nice, it didn't knot up. If your yarn is longer than mine, run it through, because it will knot up. All right. As we get to the end of my hair, if you didn't drop your rubber band that you set down earlier, you're going to want to pick that up and rubber band it. Listen, I know you're judging. We listen, we don't judge. I know we're not supposed to put our rubber bands in our teeth. Oh well, it helps. I'm not an octopus. My fingers only have so much skill. And if you can braid down further where your hair is, perfect. You know, you do you, boo. I can't. And that's okay. We listen and we don't judge. There we go. And now, with all this extra hair here, how much yarn do I have here? We count. 1, 2, 3. Actually, you can count. I'm not going to, because I'm in a video. I'm eyeballing it. You're just gonna regular braid it. Tightly, of course. Of course. Braid in your hair, just so it disappears and it's not sticking out. See what I mean about it knotting up? And don't worry if your hair sticks out like mine is right now. We can wrap it. You'll understand what I mean by wrapping it in just a few minutes. All right, I'm not doing it as tightly anymore because we don't want it to be like a single string. We want it to have some braid oomph there. Now that we're getting down to here. Look at that. Aren't she pretty? All right. And now that we're about here, the shortest one has about a centimeter left. I'm gonna pick up one last rubber band. Make sure this one is very rubber band on, all right? Because this one's like your final defense. Some people even put 2 rubber bands. That's okay. If you've got anxiety, you want to make sure it's staying, you know? Don't want this bad boy to pop on out or to snap, especially if you use your flat iron on this more than I do. I only do it once or twice, but others do it a lot more than I do, and that's okay. There's situations where it calls for it. All right, that's how you get the basic of it down. Now you can do wraps on it. You can brush this out so you don't have like a ragdoll looking kind of experience with this one. I shape it out because you got all these things going on here. I don't like that. I start with where the shortest one is and I shape it, shape it, shape it. Kind of giving it rounded looks. Rounded. Rounded. Now there's that. Grab a brush put it on a flat surface and just brush straight down, right? Brush straight down. And it's gonna pull out everything straight. Hold on, I gotta brush it on a flatter surface. If you have a better brush than this, like actually use it. This one is just what I have lying around because I was brushing my hair. And don't be shy to move your thing in a circular motion just to get all of the twists and stuff out. Because we don't want this looking like yarn. We want this kind of looking like hair. We want this optical illusion, you know? And when we're done, we're also going to shower. We're going to blow dry it. We're going to flat iron it. And we're going to blow dry it again. And then we're going to trim it. Because look at this, right? We're going to do that a couple times. I'm going to do that more later. What I mean when I say wrap it, I'm going to start wrapping up here to hide my hair, especially this, right? Let me grab my yarn. All right, grab your yarn again. I'm going to just grab a big chunk, right? It's always best to start with a long line because you can always just cut off the excess. You can always cut off the excess, right? So make it as long as your arm, right? Hold it by your thumb, make it as long as your arm. And you're gonna wanna keep it like this, right? Keep it like this, start up at your root or wherever you want because you don't have to start up at your root. You can start a wrap right down here, you can start a wrap right down here. You can make little wraps, long wraps, you can make multicolored wraps. Wraps are whatever you wanna do with this. This is creative freedom now, right? Wraps, I'm gonna make a wrap on my finger. You're gonna come around right here and bring this loop. You're gonna tuck this through the loop, pull it all the way through and tighten. Now, kind of like that. And now in the opposite direction, just start wrapping around. Like that, but more in a uniform line. And that's it. And then when you get to the end of it, you're going to stop, pull like that, and then tuck under, kind of like the reverse start. And then pull in the opposite direction. And then I personally make a knot. And elastic it. And then I wrap over the elastic and cut it. You can always wrap over the elastic with another color as well, and then wrap all the way down. So that way you don't even see a braid. You can make that a really sturdy rat tail. Because face it, if you're not putting a lot of yarn into the beginning of your rat tail, this could be a really flimsy thing and it could snap. It genuinely could. And not a lot of people want that. Especially when you're showering. You want this to be sturdy. Or when you're running, or when you're going about your day-to-day, or if it's over your shoulder and you're throwing your purse on and it snags. You don't like that. But yeah, now I'm gonna put this wrap in my hair and then I'm gonna end this here. And I'm gonna upload this to TikTok, YouTube, or something. But yeah. See? Start here. Pull through. And then we just start, sorry, I think I was off the camera for that. And then we just start wrapping around. It goes a lot slower than obviously on my finger because you're wrapping it around a thread. You have to maneuver it and align it a lot more, but yeah, this is a wrap. And you can also hang earrings, you can put rings, especially like toe rings and stuff like that, the ones that open and have like a clasp. You can put those in rat tails, dreads, whatever people want to call these. But yeah, that's how these guys go. Essentially, and I'm gonna have to make another wrap on here to fully cover my hair. Oh, my hair's gotten so long, wow. And if you find that going in like a crisscross pattern works better for you instead of just straight up and down, a-okay. Whatever works for you, man. But yeah. Have fun. And that's essentially all that doing these is for. Having fun and having a creative outlook.